Hello folks, this is the BlackWeasel, and today's One Piece chapter 846. So this is after a 1 week break as usual, where Sanji, with the cards stacked against him, he has no choice but to get married towards Purin. The name of the chapter is called Egg Defense. Now there's a cover fan request of Luffy making his ears stretch like bunny rabbit ears. There's Chopper. It turns out Ichiro Oda likes rabbits. Well, somebody else did. And it starts out on the outskirts of Street City, and where the enraged army continues to attack Luffy. Now there are numerous soldiers lying down on the ground, and Luffy yells out "Nami!" And one Big Mom's daughter says, "I got careless for a moment. Who would have thought that this little girl was capable of bringing down such a ridiculous, huge lightning bolt?" And apparently, the girl is using devil fruit to hold Nami's hands together. By some type of string, but it's not the string fruit, obviously. And she's pinned to the ground. And Nami says, "I can't make such a huge thundercloud by myself, but I'm more than capable of manipulating the thunderclouds created by Big Mom." Anyways, somebody pulls out their sword, and it turns out the demon lady says, "Mitu Shiranu," which is Japanese for that's the name of the sword, called Famous Sword Whitefish. And King Bomb says, "Wait a minute, wait just a minute, Jew, we didn't betray you. Lady Amon, please." So this is a close-up look of her face. And Lady Amon uses slow ballet. And it turns out, oh my god, she chops up her King Bomb's tongue. And King Bomb lets out a yell of, "Gah, it hurts, it hurts." And King Bomb says, "Hurt out your beat." And Lady Mom says, "If I were to cut you down in an instant, there will be no meaning in killing you to begin with. I'll kill you at the most painful and agonizing speed possible." What the heck? That's bogus. Hence the name Demon Lady. And now the scribe says, "Are you kidding me, Straw Hat? I can't believe that you're able to go toe-to-toe with Big Bro Cracker over the course of an entire night. The chess barbarian are far from pushovers. We'll crush you like the piece of trash you are." And the long legs are laughing, "Ha ha 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 ha." And Nami yells out, "Luffy!" And Luffy says, "Wheeze, wheeze." Now, somebody who looks like Tribble uses Cream Monster as Luffy punches the bejesus out of a candy soldiers, and is aiming for Luffy. And Luffy says, "Wah!" And the cream soldiers are be on fire. Luffy says, "Ow, ow, ow!" And the Tribble localized says, "That's the power of sweetness. Oh, my cream, fa, 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 fa." That's his new laugh. And Tribble localized says, "If I add a little sweetness to my sweet fresh cream, it'll simply be a matter of time before your entire body charts your crisp." Now, Luffy uses Gear third elephant gun. And Luffy says, "You little..." And he's getting ready to punch the Tribble lookalike, but it turns out there's a bunch of stuff happening at once. There's a flying skull. It looks like he's in a room of some sort. And Luffy asks, "Where the hell am I?" Ha ha. And there is a rabbit staring at him, and a spider on a stick. And there's an owl being upside down, and somebody yells out, "Ah ha ha ha." And there's a hissing sound, and it turns out the scribe comes out and says, "This place is the world of books." So I think he ate the book fruit, so he can turn things into life. And then Nami says, "Luffy, dodge!" And the demon lady is going toe-to-toe against Nami. Well, even though Nami's being held against her will. And Luffy says, "Nami!" And Luffy says, Well, Luffy says Nami, and Nami says watch out. And a bunch of books starts falling on top of him. And that triple lookalike says cream. And Luffy is surprised, is looking, and the triple lookalike uses cream punch, and he gets punched from both sides. Like, that has to be a hard punch to take. And after beating from Sanji 2 chapters below, he coughs up a lot of blood. He falls down to the ground. Man, this can't be the extent of Luffy's durability. Nami closes her eyes in disbelief. King Bomb is continuing to cry, and somebody says, "King Bomb." And the demon lady gets the favorite card out of Nami, and she's really, really skinny. And the girl who was holding Nami against her will, she says since they're homing, there could only be one reason why the Chess Barbarian army wasn't able to fight as they normally would. Not to mention the fact that you also somehow managed to escape from the Lost Forest. It's all because of that. And finally, it all makes sense. How did someone like you get their hands on Mama's favorite card? Oh, from Lola. And like Demon Lady says, Lola is written on it. And Big Mom's army says, Lola, they stole it from her? Holy crap. And Bulma says, holy crap, did that little runaway get herself killed? And somebody says, Lola. And the other person says, what were her last words? And Nami says, you got it all wrong. She's our friend. It was a gift from her. And then somebody says, it seems we must bring this up. We must bring up this matter with Mama. And somebody else says, it is truly a shame, but our orders were to capture you alive. So move it. And somebody is very, very pissed off. They said, how could this happen? Almost the entire chess army got taken out. And as somebody's pulling Luffy, he grabs onto the grass and he says, I'm staying right here. And the big guy steps on Luffy. And that's the end of that. Anyways, the scene changes towards the whole cake Chatu, and Big Mom said, sure, why not? And Sanji says, huh? You're serious? And Big Mom says, yeah, I'm dead serious. And Big Mom says, as long as I'm within reason, I'm a woman who's more than willing to listen to what others got to say. I'll let your current comrades, the Straw Hat crew, leave this island alive, every last one of them. You have Mama's word. If you finally decide to settle down and get married without putting up the fuss and won't try to run away from here, I got no problem closing my eyes to a few things here and there. This is a personal face-to-face with the Emperor, Yanku Big Mom. Like, anyways, Sanji is smiling. He says, I can't thank you enough. I promise I'll make putting the happiest girl alive. And Big Mom says, aha, ooh, so you've fallen for my daughter, haven't you? That's wonderful to hear. And Big Mom has a scary face going on. She says, but let me be crystal clear about one thing. What those damn Straw Hats did to me under normal circumstances, I'll make you pay dearly. Understand? Destroying the seducing woods, taking down one of my sweet commanders, and moreover, on top of that, they having the nerve to eat my candy on Fishman Island. Saying they picked a fight with me would be an understatement. And Big Mom says, hold up, Big Mom says, but as things stand now, your and Puddin's marriage is my top priority. If all things, if all proceeds according to plan, by this time I will acquire Gerber's military might and eat the Legends way together with everyone. So long as you try any funny business, everything will fall into place perfectly, Sanji. And Sanji says, yeah. Now, hold on. I made some green tea, so I'll be right back. Well. Alright, now I'm back. Now, anyways, the scene changes and we are inside the whole cake chai 2, the room of offer things. Tamako says, in all the world, those unbreakable obelisk texts which have it crumble even over the course of hundreds of years, the poneglyphs. And it said that approximately 30 of them exist in all bomb. Tamako says, but only 9 hold the crucial information we need. Before long, we will be led to a final island of Raftel, and there those stones will impart into us the truth of this world. Swire. And then somebody says, "Yeah, I beg you, Lord Smoothie, you mustn't do this." And then somebody else says, "I humbly ask for your mercy, Lord Smoothie." Oh yes, this is one of the sweet commanders. Anyways, Tamako says, however, in order to go to Raftel, the final island, those red stones, the rogue poneglyphs, are absolutely needed. Somebody says, yells out, "Lord Smoothie." Tamako says, including the stone that Jimmy brought to us the other day. Tamako says, our Big Mom pirate crew now owns 2 poneglyphs and 1 rogue poneglyph for a total of 3 stones view play. At the same time, Lord Smoothie is squeezing somebody into a juice of some sort. And there's a flashback of Jimmy bringing a present from the cover story from chapter 753 towards 780. It was about how Jimmy found a poneglyph in his lost underwater city of some sort. He says, "I brought you a present. I picked it up along the way." And the giant, I can't remember his name, he said, "I'll help too." Anyways, somebody yells out, "Ah!" And this person says, "I understand that they're very important, but I still don't see why we had to increase our security detail like this, Tamako." And we have a character introduction. The 3 sweet commanders: Minister Juice, the 14th daughter of the Charlotte family, Charlotte Smoothie, and her bounty is at a whopping 932 million berries. Oh my god! But at the same time, it's still Jack has the highest bounty at 1 billion berries. But I think that's because he massacres a lot of people, and so he kills a lot of people. So Big Mom powers could be stronger than they really are. I'm not sure, because for Eustace kid, he had a high bounty of 350 million, and that because he massacred a lot of civilians, which is why he sort of lost to his Kaido pretty easily, because he has to earn his bounty in a lot of respectable ways, not just harming innocent people. Anyways, Lord Smoothie says, "Anyway, I'm free until the tea party begins, so I do not mind accompanying you for security duty." And Tommy goes, "I am your debt, Renaissance." And we have a picture of a girl being dried up. Anyways, Tamako says, it's about 5 years since that man appeared on this island. The former pirate captain and poneglyph of the Ming tribe. And Tamako says, it would appear that as we speak, he has infiltrated this island once more in Souffle. And Tamako says, back then his life was spared thanks in no small part to Picom's appeal. And Tommy goes, "Why would you dare challenge us once more, Pedro?" Oh my god, they found Pedro. The jaguar. And we have a silhouette of, we have a picture of his full eyes before Jack's accident, before the incident on the Ming tribe. Anyways, Tamako says, at any rate, those red stones, the royal poneglyphs, are, so to speak, the path to becoming pirate queen. There are highly precious articles of such high importance that fellow Yankee will go so far as to steal them from another one. What? So somebody else stole it? Anyways, Tamako says, for my mistake, we put our very lives at risk to keep this trump card in our grasp at all costs. And we happen to see a ghost of Brook eavesdropping, so it's good to see that he's still in the scene. Anyways, the scene changes, and we're back inside the Whole Cake Chart 2, next to the room of offerings, the alcohol storehouse, and Pedro says there's more guards. And Brook says they call her a sweet commander. And Pedro says, sweet commander? That's one of the top brass. And Pedro says, the situation has turned hopeless. They strengthened the security detail and made it impenetrable at the worst possible time. Even if we were approached in a darker night, we wouldn't have so much as a single second to find an opening. And Brook is shocked to hell. And Pedro says, now that Tamako has become aware of my presence, it would appear that our silver of hope has completely vanished. And Pedro says, even Luffy and company are having a rough go of things. What can the two of us possibly... it's gone, and also he also said it's gone to the point where I like nothing more than to smoothly wrap up the mission and pull out of here. And Brook retracts his devil fruit abilities, and so I think they're in a wine cellar. Well, yeah, they're in an alcohol storehouse. Anyways, Brook says, I was truly moved by your tale the other day, Pedro. In order to make Luffy the Pirate King, the rope poneglyphs will be absolutely necessary. However, returning to this island a second time would be a near impossible undertaking as much as certain. And Brook says, better yet, if we seriously to attempt to return, we have no choice to fight our way in from the front. No matter how you look at this, simply no way we're able to reach this point with the entire crew. And Brook says, this very moment is a very unique chance and may be our only one. And Pedro says, but the two of us were to raid the building and will certainly spell our demise. And Brook says, who is Baron Tamako's target? And Pedro says, it's me. And Brook says, Pedro, could I ask you to be the bait? And Pedro says, what a coincidence. I was thinking the exact same thing. And then the chapter ends just like that. Yep, that's it.